and then Arma Reforger is being leaked, and it just looks like Arma 3. And then, Arma 4 is going to be coming out, and that's touted to use the full Infusion engine. And then, well, what's happening at DayZ is there going to be a DayZ 2? Is there going to be a DayZ Arma 4 mod, which, by the way, I will play? Or is it going to just be one of those kind of IPs that they just
My money is on they would develop an official DayZ mod. They've done reworks of Churnerus Scalespeeder, so maybe they will do a rework of Livonia.
Yeah, and I think I always like to think that when Bohemia or any other software developer or publisher that you like what they do, start going in the right direction, you should maybe just consider sometimes supporting these things as a financial support for BI. Right. For example, like with Call of Duty, when they switched over to the Battle Pass system instead of having a Season Pass that walled the maps behind, that was a really good thing that they did when they did that, and it opened up the game for lots of the community. And I would always say in my videos then, I would say that buy the Battle Pass, but we're doing it because the Battle Pass is good fun, but also because you're showing Activision this is how we want the game to be monitored. I think with things like Livonia, I think it's, if you've played a lot of DayZ, I think maybe, you should buy it anyway. You should take the opportunity to give Bohemia Interactive more money, like with Arma, when the DLCs come out for that. Give them money for the creator DLCs. Because we want to encourage BI.
The one comeback I'm going to come back with that Scalespeeder is I agree with you that you should support the companies that you enjoy the product of. But right now, how many times today have we said the biggest setback they have right now is no animator on the team? A lot of people would be more than happy to give them more money, whether it be through DLC or a map or something like that. But we're just not seeing the investment from Bohemia Interactive back into DayZ. And that's what worries me. And I'm pretty sure, Mark, you'd agree with that as well.
Yeah, it's like they've probably made a lot of cash, I would assume. We don't know numbers, but I would assume after Livonia sales alone, they've made a decent bit of pocket change. And I'm assuming it would be enough to hire an animator, maybe 2 if needed. But I think they're probably investing it all into the Arma, whatever that new Arma franchise is. It's just all their cash revenue from any games is just going straight to that.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're going through a Bohemia sale, which is great. So if you want to get on top of that, go for it. But that's it at the end of the day. Like, all the money that is going towards DayZ is obviously going towards the current dev team. And they've recently just hired a junior community manager, which, congratulations to him. Don't get too pressured by Spaggy asking about Xbox all the time, all right? But I would say, yeah, all the money apart from that, it is going towards Arma Reforger or Arma 4, whatever they want to call it. Yeah. They have no interest. Otherwise, it would have been done a long time ago now. They would have either kept the animator or replaced them. I do find it quite funny, though, that going back to when Inclement Dab was doing his community spotlight, and he unveiled that Bohemia attempted to hire him, but he turned them down. I find it funny that they're willing to do that, but they're not willing to do, to hire an animator for new stuff and old stuff. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. Like, we all know Arma Reforger and Arma 4, whatever it's going to be, is going to be a success. Just let one person off of that team just come back to the DayZ dev team, give the community some love, get back some of those old assets, bring in something new. I mean, Howard, they teased the M429 or whatever they bloody call it way back in 2017, 2018, something like that. And it's still not in the game. Like, what are they thinking? Get it in, please. Bring us an animator. God damn it, please.
Even then, they have the one of the DayZ Aftermath. We talked about it last week. He's making animations for the M249. He's made them for the AUGs, making them for the crossbows, the bows. He's making them for all the other guns that used to be in the game as well. And it's spend a couple £100, maybe a couple grand, buy them off him. Helps Aftermath servers out. Helps the game out in general. It's going to bring in more sales. It's a win-win situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely need something done in that regard, and we've said every single podcast that as specifically that I've been on, that we need some kind of like support from the team in that in terms of animate. Because yes, sure, it's really really cool that we have new stuff coming in. Like we got the new magazines, we got the new optic, great. We got new melee weapons, which again, it's fantastic. In the 1.12 patch, we had the introduction of some older items that what used to be in the game. Again, fantastic. But the one thing that the community would really like is, bows back, crossbows, the AUG, the Red 9, stuff like that. Just something that can make it more unique.
Mate, I want the rack back. I want the rack. One of the worst guns. You saw that in a police station and I'm not picking that piece of shit up. If I found that now, I would be the happiest fucking kid on the block, Scale Speeder.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Absolutely. All this stuff should come back, but I've kind of, we always, I don't want to bring it up again, but we bring up the subject of paying mods and finding ways to monetize it and things like that. But you've got a way, say with the Livonia map, and say, look, this is an official map that BI have brought out. If lots and lots of people buy it, then they'll be thinking, oh, right, maybe we should license the mouse and sell that for it, because it's going to make us some money.
Do some community DLC, Bohemia, for DayZ?
Well, absolutely. Something like that. And the community of Arma have bought like Prairie Fire and the other ones in their thousands. And they've made an awful lot of money, and yet here we are with an official map, and people are saying, "Oh, I'm not going to bother buying it."
Yeah,
it's just got some bears on it or something. It's like, come on, people, spend the money.
But it's like the content that the modders for Arma were bringing out was nearly better than some of the content. Like I know the most recent modder DLC that came out, there was a huge ton of backlash for it because it was all just recycled content. Half of it didn't work. It was janky. It was really rushed apparently. So I watched a couple of videos on it. It was pretty bad. But like the one before that with I think it was Vietnam stuff, Prairie Fire, was really good, and it got great reception and stuff. So yeah, I don't see this going to. I think they're going to concentrate
control with the community DLC, Mark.
Yes.
There's got to be some good quality control in place. But if they do it right, it's a win-win for everyone.
It didn't seem like the most recent one had quality control in it at all, but it looks, if you watch some videos on it, it was really bad. Yeah. But I think what's going to happen is Bohemia is going to concentrate on Arma 4. Arma 4 is going to come out. If it becomes successful, I have a feeling they'll even cut the budget more on DayZ, and they'll just completely focus on that, and they'll either try and squeeze DayZ out of it, or they'll have to do something, because I think this concentration on Arma is going to kill off DayZ.
Pixel, what map would you love to see the most as a community DLC?
For what in general for DayZ?
Yeah, that could come across to console as well as an official community map. What map would you like to see the most out of all the ones you watch us PC Master Race people playing on and go, fucking wish we could have that?
I quite like the look of Takistan, but I'm more swaying towards the mouse just for the sheer size and how cold it is and the cities you have.
Yes.
Just something a bit more dense is what I'm looking for the most. A bit of urban warfare, should I say.
Too right. And just addressing what Moxie Don was saying in chat, do any of you feel that developers want to wash their hands of DayZ and move on? They just throw us a ball now and again with things we don't need. Yeah. Completely.
Yeah.
We all love DayZ, obviously. Everyone, that's one of the reasons why we do the podcast. But
sorry, let's just quickly clarify on that. The way he's worded that, not the devs, not the dev team. The dev team are 110% committed. Bohemia, you sometimes wish that they get this. They've got this feeling that they wish they'd never had DayZ come into their life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even you're nodding, Skull Speeder.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's the whole conspiracy theory, isn't there? That Arma is Bohemia Interactive is Arma. That's their baby. DayZ came along from this little upside, this little mod, and they've had to divert resources from their beloved Arma into DayZ. But what we do know is that DayZ has sold better than Arma, hasn't it? They probably made more money out of DayZ than they have out of Arma. So I'd imagine when they have their boardroom meetings with the brothers and the other guys, there's probably a few people who are arguing and have got DayZ t-shirts for DayZ.
I hope so.
And I think it's made enough. The player base is big enough, made enough money where hopefully when Arma Reforged or Arma 4 whatever starts to come out, we'll see more of a concentration on DayZ, and Samrak and Adam will get maybe a couple more people onto his team. I mean, we don't want DayZ chaining that much, because playing Arma and DayZ is so much more immersive than Arma.
Yes.
You know, I mean, Arma is janky as anything. In DayZ, when you're in a forest, you feel like you're in a forest. Amazing. Arma, you don't. Arma's a real video game. I feel like DayZ's more of a simulation, but yes, fingers crossed. Patient.
Yeah, I mean, if I remember my Bohemia Interactive history correctly, when Arma 2 came around, the company was dying. It was pretty much on death's door. And then when DayZ as a mod came out, and Arma 2 got millions of sales.
Yeah, they sold like 1 million copies, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. And DayZ single-handedly saved that company because, for whatever reason, the military contracts just weren't working out, which is why they brought Arma as a series out to the public. And it just kind of stemmed on from there. DayZ done DayZ done really, really well, helped a lot for the company, brought out Arma 3. Great. Then they decided to try and kill the game by giving a botched version amalgamation of the Arma 3 engine, which didn't fully work, so they were forced to develop their own engine in the background until 2018. And when that came out, it was brilliant, fantastic. And then Vigor came out, which uses Unreal Engine 4, so that was very weird. You guys had developed this new engine, which is really, really cool, but then you don't use it for any of your titles. And then Arma Reforger is being leaked, and it just looks like Arma 3. And then, Arma 4 is going to be coming out, and that's touted to use the full Infusion engine. And then, what's happening to DayZ? Is there going to be a DayZ 2? Is there going to be a DayZ Arma 4 mod, which, by the way, I will play? Or is it going to just be one of those kind of IPs that they just
money is on they would develop an official DayZ mod for Arma 4, Arma Reforged, whatever you want to call it. What do you reckon, Mark?
Yeah, but didn't somebody say in chat a while ago, I think it was a modder said that the Arma series doesn't like people recreating DayZ in Arma or some shit like that?
They don't. From what I recall, the Arma 3 DayZ mod was pretty good for what it tried to do, but it just died. I don't know why.
But the reason is what Scalespeeder said before. It's janky compared to DayZ Standalone.
True.
Yeah,
I watched
it is.
I remember when they said Frankie was coming back and he was going to be making his videos on Arma 3. And I think I put a tweet out. Why the fuck would you use Arma 3 when you look at how janky the running animations and everything is by comparison to DayZ Standalone? I don't get it.
I don't get it either. It's extremely like I was saying before when Scalespeeder was talking about it. Arma 3 is just such a dated game right now, and it is in dire need of a replacement. High tenure at Bohemia Interactive, them guys spent all this time developing, this new engine, and Godspeed for them for doing it. And I'm not surprised they dipped when they did, but it seems quite insulting not only for them, but the community when this brand new engine was developed. And yeah, it's not 100% there, but we have literally no word on the future of DayZ. Especially when that conference was going on a couple of weeks back, last month or something like that, when the topic DayZ came up, they just didn't care. It's an insult. It's an absolute insult. Yes, DayZ is a 8-9-year-old game, but to be quite frank, it shaped the future of our current video game industry. The game needs to keep going in some shape or form. You can't just let
It's
it die.
got such a proud legacy, and that's why so many of us
It does.
feel so attached to the game, because there's so many other games out there that can tie their heritage back to DayZ, which you can say ties its heritage back to Arma, but yeah.
Can I do something before we quickly move on?
Yes, sir.
I was just looking up how much Bohemia's Interactive have made last year in 2020, and it came up with an article from 2019, and it had some stuff with Livonia's DLC and stuff. And I wanted to kind of said about. They said this is from 2019. They made $68 million that year. They said DayZ performed especially well. This was the year it launched on PS4 and Xbox One during 2019 after several successful years on PC. The game sold over 1.1 million units in 2019, driving lifetime sales to 5.8 million. Additionally, the Livonia DLC sold 400,000 units since launching in mid-November of, I'm assuming that year. Arma 3 sold 2.6 million units, half of the base lifetime. So DayZ outperformed Arma that year in sales, and the Livonia DLC sold 400,000 copies at $10 to $15 a piece, which is a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like they don't have the money to hire these people.
Like seriously, like
found that interesting.
That is actually really interesting, and it does actually raise more questions. It's like, yeah, sure, a lot of, like we've all said, like a lot of the funding that Bohemia gets from video games sales and contracts and whatever, it goes towards the development of the new Arma game. But you have other games, Bohemia. You have other games that need your love and attention, and your communities are soon going to start saying, why we're going to bother? Why do we care? You clearly don't have the heart and soul in your games anymore. We're just going to stop playing. And eventually your player base will start to dwindle. It happened back in 2017 and 2018 with DayZ itself, with the DayZ concurrent players, before 0.63 hit. When that update hit, oh God, DayZ blew up again. But correct me if I'm wrong, but even that player base is starting to dwindle again, because yes, the updates are coming in and they are good updates, but the stuff that the game needs, it's just not getting. And we need that love and attention. And sorry for getting all whatever, but the game needs it. The game absolutely needs it. And
the more we keep on saying it, the more they're likely to hear us. Hey, Scale Speeder.
Absolutely. You know,
and this comes from a place of love, doesn't it, Scale Speeder?
Well, if you want to influence them, you can very rarely. It's quite difficult to influence them by shouting at them and screaming at them and complaining, all that sort of stuff. You know, but if you can maybe point them in the right direction with a few bucks and some warm encouragement, you know, who knows what might.
Give us a community DLC, folks. Put Namolsk as a community DLC. I know the PC crowd wouldn't need to buy because everyone's pretty much already got it for free, but I guarantee you that the console crowd would be out there in their droves. Isn't that right, Pixel?
Yeah, 100%. I already know my group would be straight up, grab that straight away. And I'm pretty sure many other people would as well. It's such a good map. Watching, obviously, you PC Master Race guys playing it all the time. We're always watching this like that. It's like, we wish we could have this. We're stuck with just such a base vanilla game which restricted so much. To even just have a new map, it's something new. Everyone jumps on it. Everyone's on that bandwagon. Everyone's like, yeah, let's go, new map. Let's just see how it goes. And
it's a great way for them to tap into that pool of people who've got DayZ through the Xbox Pass, I think it's called, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, DayZ's got a new map out, $15. Yeah, I'll buy that. I've got the game for nothing, so $15 for a map. That's a great way of tapping into some more cash for them. So, yeah,